Well, hi. Listen to this story. It's kind of crazy. A Kent State professor known for his anti-Israel rhetoric is now reportedly under investigation from Clarice Starling and the FBI for posting praise for Osama bin Laden and encouraging would-be jihadists to join ISIS. That's problematic. Now, in this controversial Facebook post, Dr. Julio Pino is standing in front of the Capitol, and his comment says, I come to bury D.C., not to praise it. But Professor Pino is still teaching at Kent State, although last year, this is the crazy part, the university fired a professor over a road rage video because that professor, Lyndon Atkins, got mad at someone for almost hitting a student because he was texting on his phone, and Lyndon Atkins did the right thing, kind of yelled at the guy, which I think is awesome. I would have rehired him if I were that chancellor. Well, Ryan Mauro joins me now. He's a national security analyst at the Clarion Project. So you have been combing Dr. Julio Pino's, or Julio, is it Julio? I guess it would be.
Julio, yeah.
Yeah, Julio. Me and Julio down by the schoolyard trying to convert people to join ISIS. What did you find on his Facebook page?
Just a ton of radicalism to the point that he could never deny it. Although he's saying to reporters, I consider social media to be entertainment. And then a reporter said, oh, so these are jokes when you're posting pro-ISIS stuff. And he's like, well, I don't mean it's jokes. I'm just saying it's open to interpretation. But this is the difference, apparently, at Kent State University between tenure and not having tenure. Yeah. You have the one professor who was there for 10 years, and there's this video of him freaking out at someone for texting and driving, gets fired. But then Julio Pino has been there since 1992. He has tenure, and has a history of extremism, even going so far as being linked to a pro-Al-Qaeda website with training manuals to teach people how to kill people.
Yeah. No, he is he a terrorist, though?
If you mean a terrorist is once you actually commit the violent act yourself, then no, but he's definitely a supporter of terrorism. All the way back in 2002 was when he first started supporting suicide bombings publicly.
He looks like Charles Manson without the forehead swastika.
Yeah, right. And so in 2002, he supports terrorism vocally, and then you know what happens the next year? Faculty Excellence Award.
Wow.
And then in 2007, one of his colleagues connects him to this pro-Al-Qaeda website. Yeah. And then 3 years later, Faculty Excellence Award. So then at that point, he says, all right, I guess I can get away with anything. Yeah. And then a former Israeli diplomat shows up on campus. He screams death to Israel in his face, which is a death threat. And now he's being investigated for possibly recruiting students for ISIS.
He's being investigated by the FBI, and the school has said, hey, listen, we in no way, we do not condone his statements. We distance ourselves from them. We think they're super gross and abhorrent. But still, the guy has a jobby job, which is weird because it seems like in the era of trigger warnings and microaggressions, the fact that he has been so hostile toward Israel, you got to think that there are Israeli and Jewish students on campus who are super grossed out by this. And he also uses the N-word a lot.
Right, there was a student that I talked to that said he was using the N-word in class, and the school was saying that there weren't many complaints about him, which is not true. There are plenty of complaints about this individual's conduct. But it's not even about being anti-Israel and exchanging political views. I mean, when you're saying death to Israel and calling for genocide and being connected to pro-Al-Qaeda websites and everything else, this is crazy. And anywhere there's an ISIS supporter, that means that you believe in killing Americans, which would include the students that you teach. And despite this news coming out, Kent State University said, well, the FBI said that there's no threat, so we're not even going to increase security. Yeah. That's how they responded.
Yeah, it's very odd. College is a strange place. Tenure can be really, really stupid, although I'm hoping to get it here someday.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I'm going to ask the fantastic Mr. Fox. Maybe it will. All right, thank you so much, Ryan Mauro.
Thank you.
This has been strangely delightful. And I hope Julio Pinot Noir, with his heart as black as hell at night, is fired. All right, coming up.